Hey guys, I'm making a video for this because I think I'm going to be gone for at least one class. But this is going to be the review for the Unit 5 test. So what I have here is a version of the test, and I'm just going to go through every question. I'm going to skip the doubles. So just so you know, like I'm not going to go through all 20 questions on the test, but I'm going to go through every type of question. So, for example, there's the first two questions are the same thing. We're just going to do the first one. Okay, so let's do it. Question 1. Put the following equation of a line into slope-intercept form. Simplify all fractions. Okay, what I do for these, the basic rule is get y alone, right? If I'm trying to turn standard form where x and y are on the same side of the equal sign into y equals mx plus b, then my goal is to get y by itself. The more in-depth steps that I've been saying is you have to either add or subtract the x term, and then you have to divide the y term. So that's something that would be great on your half sheet. Okay, the reason you're going through this video is so that you can fill out stuff that would help you on your half sheet. Okay, but let's do it. So add or subtract the x term. My 3x is positive, so to undo it, I would have to subtract. And whatever I do to one side of the equal sign, I have to do to the other. So 3 minus 3 is 0. Drop down the 15y because I didn't do anything with it. And then this is where it's different from what we've always done. Okay, 75 minus 3x. Well, the 75 does not have an x, and the 3 does. So they are not going to be friends. They're just going to sit right next to each other. You don't have to combine them. No math, no calculator, just tack the 3x onto the end. That's add or subtract the x term. And then step 2 is divide the y term. Get the y by itself. Split it up from the 15. Now, because of that x, we couldn't combine it with the 75. We cannot combine all of that stuff together now either. So I'm going to do it separately. 75 divided by 15 is 5. And then negative 3 divided by 15 is going to be a fraction, which we're going to simplify to 1 over 5 x. And that's my answer. I would box it on my test and I'd be done. And that's question 1 and 2. For those that split up their half sheets in the lessons like I do, this is obviously 5.1. Okay. And then 5.1 is going to go to question 6. So 5.1 is going to be questions 1 to 6. So there you go. Let's go to the next type of question. Ooh, graphing. Okay, graph this line with this equation. Y equals 1/4 x plus 1. So the number with the x is my slope. That's what I'm going to count. Let's see, count. The number without the x is my y-intercept. So that's where I'm going to just plot the point. So the positive 1 is my y-intercept. I put a dot on positive 1, and then I'm going to count 1 over 4. Up 1 over 4. 2 dots make a line. Connect your dots. Okay. So we'll say plot y-intercept. And that's step 1. Count slope. That's step 2. Okay. Ooh, okay. The reverse. Instead of being given an equation and drawing your graph, you're given the graph, you gotta write the equation. So start the same way. My y-intercept now is -2, so I'm just gonna put a -2 right there, and then I see little dots. Yours will be in black and white, but you'll still be able to see them, I promise. Okay, here's my rise over run to get from one dot to the other. And that is down 4, so negative 4 over 3. So that is my answer. Down 4 over 3 becomes negative 4 over 3. You can also just count and you can say that's 4 over 3 and then look at it later and go, it's going down. That means it has to be negative, okay? Remember, negative slope is when it's going down, positive slope is when it's going up. Find the equation represented in the table below in slope-intercept form. So my goal is to make y equals mx plus b. And then I see as my x's go up by 1. So my change in x, I'm going to need it y on top, because when we do slope, y has to be on top. But my change in x is 1. My change in y is positive 4, right? 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 4 is 12, and so on. So my slope is going to be 4. And then my y-intercept is my start. So funny enough, that's here, but it's always where x equals 0. So in this case, 4x plus 4. Okay, and you have 2 of those. There's the other one. Okay, we're on to 5.2. 5.2 is going to be question 7 to 11. What is the equation of the line that passes through the point, that one, and has a slope of 3? Okay, you're given a point and a slope, so we should use point-slope form. That is this one. So y minus, my y value is negative 4, equals my slope. They told me my slope is 3. Parenthesis x minus, my x value is negative 1. Okay, so if you can, we'll just put a little keys, x1, y1, and m. Everything else stays the way that it is, parentheses, minuses, everything. You can turn all those double negatives into pluses. I will accept either, okay? But you have 3 of these, I believe, on the test. Yep, there's one more. And there's 2 more. Question 10 is a little different. Instead of being given a slope, you're given 2 points. So you got to do one little extra step first. We're still going to use our same formula down here. We're going to write it at the bottom right now. Okay, but before I can plug anything in, I have to find the slope because I don't know what that is yet. And that is going to be my normal slope formula that we know and love. Okay, so y values, we'll pick one. Negative 5 minus negative 7 over 3 minus negative 3. That becomes 2 over 6, which is 1/3. So that's my slope. And then I'm going to pick one of my points and I'm going to plug it into my formula because it asked me for an equation. So y minus my y value is negative 5. My slope was 1/3. That's what I had to find. X minus x value is 3. That's my final answer. Okay, you got 2 of those. All right, this is 5.3. 5.3 is going to be questions 12 to 15. Okay, to plot the x and y intercepts and graph this thing. Okay, we know how to find the intercepts. This is our cover-up method, right? We cover up one and we write the other. So that's going to be my y-intercept because y is left. Cover up the other one, write what's left. And then I'm going to divide each of them because they're being multiplied, so I need to undo it. X equals negative 1, y equals 3. So I'm going to go to my graph and I'm going to plot x equals -1 and y equals 3 and then connect my dots. Okay, looks like you got 2 of those. Now we're matching, so these are multiple choice. Okay, now we're going from the graph to the equation. These ones were a little strange. Remember, we had to write our own steps for them. Step 1 was find all your numbers. We're going to find the x-intercept, we're going to find the y-intercept, and we're going to find the total number. And that was just whatever this number was. So it looks like it's going to be 6 this time. My y-intercept is 3, and my x-intercept is 1. And then step 2 was like undo the intercepts to find the coefficients. So we're going to do exactly what we just did. Where did it go? We're going to divide the way we divided the coefficients here to find the intercepts. We're going to divide the intercepts to find the coefficients. So 6 divided by 1 is going to be our x, and 6 divided by 3 is going to be our y. So my x-intercept is going to be 6. My x coefficient, excuse me, is going to be 6. And my y coefficient is going to be 6 divided by 3 is 2. So I'm going to come down here and I see that A has a 6 and a 2 in the right spot, right? B also has a 2 and a 6, but I want the 6 to be the x term. So there's that. And then here's the other one. Like, it's the same section on Delta Math, but it's a little different. And this is just graphing the intercepts again. So I'm going to cover up and write what's left and then solve. So y is going to be 11. I'm going to then cover up, write what's left, and solve. And that's going to be -11. So I need to find y is +11. So there's +11. And x is -11. So it's got to be C. I noticed really quick that this one is just the opposite. So if you mixed up x and y, those are the opposite, right? X is +11, y is -11, as opposed to the other way around. So just be careful, okay? But that should be exactly the same as question 12 and 13. And then we're on to 5.4. 5.4 is to the end, question 16 to 20. So first question is going to ask you to draw a perpendicular line and then determine the slopes of both the given line and the one you graphed. So I like to start with the slopes. So I'm going to zoom in really close. I see it's up 1/1. So my original slope is 1, and it 1/1, right? So if my perpendicular slope, it has to be completely flipped. So instead of +1/1, it's going to be -1/1. So I can pick anywhere. I can pick here. There's a -1/1. I can pick down here, -1/1. It doesn't matter, but I'm going to draw a random line with the right slope and then connect my dots. No matter where I do it, I'm going to get this perfect right angle right here. Do I expect absolute perfection on the test? No, but I should be able to tell that you have the right slope, okay? So maybe your line isn't perfectly straight, but like I need to be able to see that you know what you're talking about, okay? That's question 15, 16. Then you have to find the slopes and to find the equations, okay? So let's do it. Find the slope of a line perpendicular to this line. I'm going to write out my steps. I'm going to pause the video and write out the steps. I suggest you pause the video and do the same. Okay, there's the steps on how to do these. Write them down. You'll need them. So the 17 and 18 stop right here. We don't need to plug it into an equation because it doesn't want the equation. It just wants the slope. Question 19 and 20, though, go to step 3. Okay, so let's do it. Let's try it out. We need to solve for y because we need to be able to see the slope. Like, we need to find it. So, subtract the x term. It's positive, which is why I subtracted it. Rewrite it all. Now divide the x term, or excuse me, divide the y term. Y equals 5 over negative 5 is negative 1, plus, because two negatives make a positive, 4/5 x. So that revealed my slope. My slope is 4 over 5. The question said perpendicular, so that means everything needs to flip. So positive 4 over 5 is going to become negative 5 over 4, and that's my answer. If it was parallel, like this one, well, then my answer would just leave it the same. Don't flip anything. Okay, so that's the difference there. Please watch out for your words. If you are being asked for the slope, don't give me an equation, give me the slope. If it's asked for parallel, don't flip it. If it asks for perpendicular, make sure you switch everything up, okay? The equation. Let's do this one because it's got a number there. No, let's do this one because it's trickier. Okay. That's a secret one. That's where it's tricky. Let's keep going. Solve for y. Let's do it. Subtract 2x on both sides. Negative 1y equals 9 minus 2x. Divide by negative 1 on both sides. Y equals negative 9 plus 2x. Your calculator can do everything that I just did like just as fast, okay? This revealed that my slope is the positive 2. This is parallel, which means I'm not going to flip the slope. That is my slope. That 2 right there is my slope. And this is my point. So my formula is y minus y1, which is negative 1 in this case, equals my slope is 2 times x minus my x value, which is also 2. If it had been perpendicular, that is positive 2 over 1. So I just put a bunch of ghosts. I just revealed a bunch of ghosts. Every whole number is a fraction over 1, and that's plus. If it had been perpendicular, not parallel, then I would have flipped it all to negative 1 over 2. Okay? That's the only difference between 19 and 20. So, email me if you have any questions. Get ready for the test. It's coming. You guys have a great day.